Hi there and welcome. Today we're going to dive into a really beautiful story called Ish. And trust me, it's a story that will get you thinking about art, about our feelings, and about the power of one tiny but super important little word.
So before we jump in, I've got a question for you. Just something to think about as we go through this story. Is it okay to be imperfect? Is it all right to make mistakes? Just hold that thought in your head as we get to know the story of Ish.
Okay, so our story starts with a little boy named Ramon. And Ramon, well, he has this really special talent, this huge passion. Let's find out what it is that makes him just so happy.
So Ramon's absolute favorite thing to do in the entire world? It's drawing. I mean, he draws all the time. In the morning, in the afternoon, even at night, pretty much any chance he gets. He'll draw the trees he sees outside, the food he's about to eat, all his toys, literally everything. And drawing, it just makes him feel so happy. It's really his own special way of seeing the world.
But then, one day, everything changes. Something happens and it just turns Ramon's happy, colorful world completely upside down. It leaves him feeling really sad and, pretty angry too.
So imagine this. Ramon is just happily drawing away, creating a beautiful picture of a vase full of flowers. He's totally lost in his own little world. But then, his older brother, Leon, kind of peeks over his shoulder, and he laughs. And what Leon says in that moment, well, it changes absolutely everything for Ramon.
Yeah, those words, they really hurt Ramon's feelings. All of a sudden, his drawing doesn't seem so good anymore. He feels embarrassed and then sad. And then that sadness turns into anger. All that joy he was feeling, it's just gone. So he grabs the paper, crumples it up into a super tight ball, and just throws it right on the floor. And he tries again, He tries to draw that perfect vase over and over and over. But now, all he can hear in his head are his brother's words. Nothing he draws looks right. He just gets more and more frustrated until, finally, he just puts his pencil down, he says, "I'm done." And right then, he decides he's never going to draw again, ever.
But just when Ramon thinks his drawing days are completely over, his little sister Marisol, she comes to the rescue, and she has this surprising, almost magical idea. Let's see what she does.
So Ramon sees Marisol grab one of his crumpled up papers and run into her room. He's curious, so he follows her. And when he opens her door, he just stops. He's completely amazed. Because all of his crumpled up, bad drawings, they're all over her wall. Her room looks like a beautiful art gallery.
And then he spots it, the crumpled drawing of the vase, the one that started this whole mess. He points at it and tells Marisol that's supposed to be a vase. You can just tell he's still feeling like it's a total failure. But Marisol, she sees it completely differently. She just smiles and says, "Well, it looks vase-ish." Vase-ish? Ramon's like, what? He's never heard that word before. And it means, it's not exactly a vase, but it has the feeling of one. It's vase-like.
And this right here, this is the huge turning point in the story. That one little word, ish, it's like a magic spell. Ramon looks at his drawing again, and yeah, it's not perfect, but it is vase-ish. And suddenly, that's totally okay. He just feels light. He feels free and happy. And that love he had for drawing, it all comes rushing back, maybe even stronger than it was before.
So what's the big idea here? What's the real meaning behind this amazing story? What can we all learn from Ramon and Marisol's little ish moment? Well, let's break it down. Okay, the biggest takeaway, the most important thing to remember is this.
making something, creating something. It isn't about being perfect. Not at all. It's about expressing who you are and how you feel. That word ish, it gives Ramon the freedom to just be himself. It gives him the confidence to try again. And this story, it teaches us all such a beautiful lesson. It's not just okay to be imperfect, it's actually pretty wonderful.
All right, let's take a second to learn some new words from Ramon's story. Let's look at this table together. First, we have crumple. Remember? That's what Ramon did to his paper when he got angry. Then there's gallery, which is that awesome art collection Marisol made in her room. Perfect is what Ramon was trying so hard to be. And of course, vase, the drawing that started this whole adventure. Maybe you can try to think of a sentence for each of these words yourself.
Okay, now it's time for a little bit of English listening practice. This is a great way to improve. I'm going to say a sentence from the story. I want you to listen really carefully. I'll say each sentence twice.
Okay, ready? First one. Ramon loves to draw. Listen again. Ramon loves to draw. This one's simple, but it tells us everything about his passion, right? That joy he feels when he creates something.
All right, next one. He gets very angry. Listen one more time. He gets very angry. And this, of course, shows us just how upset he felt when he thought his drawing wasn't perfect.
Here's a really important one. It looks vase-ish. Listen again. It looks vase-ish. Ah, those are the magic words, aren't they? The ones from his sister, Marisol, that changed everything.
And one last one for you. He feels free and happy. Listen again. He feels free and happy. And that's how he felt right after he learned the amazing magic of ish.
So let's bring this all back to us. What does this story really mean for you and me? How can we take this tiny but incredibly powerful word, ish, and use it in our own lives? Really, think about it for a second. Maybe the work you're doing doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. Maybe it just needs to be good-ish. Maybe the dinner you cook tonight can just be delicious-ish. And hey, maybe your English doesn't have to be perfect either. It can be English-ish. What really matters is that you try, that you express yourself, and that you have some fun along the way.
And that is the final, most important message of all. Life just isn't about being perfect. It's about finding joy in the journey itself, in the trying, in the process of creating. So I'm going to leave you with this thought. Forget about being perfect. Just go out there and find your own special ish. So my question for you is, what will you be ish about today?